Behind every legend lies a reason. This is Myth and Motive.
Perhaps many of us have seen photos of trains in India, packed with people, crammed both on the roofs and along the sides of the carriages. That scene makes everyone pause at the overwhelming, chaotic, and suffocating crowd. However, if you think that's the ultimate limit of overcrowding, then join us as we step into another place, where the trains are even more crowded and harsh by many times. Just about travel, where people risk their lives to claim a tiny space amidst a sea of humanity. Welcome, viewers, to Bangladesh, one of the world's most populous, impoverished, and struggling nations. A place where the concept of equality seems distant, where people fight for every chance to live in the shadow of poverty and despair. Bangladesh is often referred to by a name that sounds both bitter and haunting. The world's largest prison, where the poor are trapped in a cycle of hunger, injustice, and deadlock. So, what has pushed Bangladesh into such a tragic situation? Let's begin our journey to explore this land of adversity right now. With an area of about 147,600 square kilometers, Bangladesh is only half the size of Vietnam. But the notable point here is its population of 170 million, making it one of the most populous countries in the world. The average population density is 1,265 people per square kilometer, 4 times that of Vietnam and the highest among countries with populations over 100 million. So why does such a small country have such a huge population? To understand this, we need to look back at Bangladesh's history. Previously, Bangladesh was part of British India. After the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the British officially controlled this land and turned it into a colony. It wasn't until 1947, when India gained independence, that Bangladesh did not become a separate country but was merged into Pakistan under the name East Pakistan. Despite being geographically separated from West Pakistan, now Pakistan, by thousands of kilometers, cultural, linguistic, and political differences between the two regions led to intense conflicts, culminating in the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971. With support from India, East Pakistan broke away and became Bangladesh, an independent nation that faced countless difficulties from its inception. As a country with over 90% of its population following Islam, Bangladesh is the 4th largest Muslim country in the world, after Indonesia, Pakistan, and India. Islam has a strong influence on the culture, politics, and daily life of the people. But it also poses many obstacles to economic and social development. Despite gaining independence, Bangladesh remains deeply mired in poverty, pollution, and underdevelopment. The familiar image the world often sees of this country is narrow slums, streets filled with garbage, and rivers blackened by industrial waste. Bangladesh's Human Development Index is consistently among the lowest in the world, and millions still live in extremely poor conditions. Economically, Bangladesh heavily relies on foreign aid and key industries such as textiles and leather. Textile exports account for over 80% of total export revenue. Yet this industry is notorious for labor exploitation, low wages, and dangerous working conditions. It can be said that Bangladesh is like a ship struggling not to sink in a sea of instability and poverty. But how could a country fall into such a dire state? And what is life really like for the people here? Let's continue our exploration journey in the next part of today. Dear viewers, if poverty is the general picture covering all of Bangladesh, then Dhaka, its capital, is where the harshest and most exposed aspects of people's lives are revealed. A cramped city of just 360 square kilometers but forced to bear over 21 million people. making it the city with the highest population density in the world. With over 60,000 people per square kilometer, nearly 30 times that of our Hanoi. However, this suffocating overcrowding does not come with development or civilization. On the contrary, Dhaka appears as a dark maze, where 40% of the population huddles in narrow, dilapidated slums, where garbage, sewage, and rats become constant neighbors to humans. Children are born accustomed to the stench and scattered piles of trash. Many have to start working for a living before they even grow up, becoming textile workers, collecting garbage, or worse, being pushed into the dark streets of red light districts. According to UN reports, over half of the children in Bangladesh live in extreme poverty and hunger. In a society where the mindset of favoring males over females is still deeply, many girls here had to accept marriage when they are too young, even before reaching adolescence. According to UNICEF, about 1/3 of girls in Bangladesh marry before the age of 15. By the age of 18, this rate increases to 66%. For many poor families, marrying off their daughters early is not a choice but the only way to reduce the economic burden. There are girls aged 12 to 13 forced into marriage as if they were exchange goods, traded for a few quintals of rice, some cows, or a small sum of money as dowry. But paradoxically, marriage in such circumstances does not help escape poverty but creates new burdens. Because in Bangladesh, the bride's family must provide the entire dowry, from money and gold to land and assets. The poorer the family, the greater the pressure. Many had to sell all their assets, take on debt, or accept a lifetime of debt just to arrange a marriage for their daughter. If the dowry is insufficient, the bride will be looked down upon, abused, or even returned like a defective product. Worse, the dowry does not stop after the wedding. The groom's family can continue to demand more at any time, such as on building a house, buying a car, or hosting a party. It is no longer a marriage but the beginning of a long period of suffering. Although the Bangladeshi government has enacted laws prohibiting forced child marriage and dowry demands, in reality, the law cannot overcome poverty and outdated mindsets. In many rural areas, the fate of girls is still determined by a few numbers. How much money, how much gold, and when can the family marry off their daughter? And perhaps only in Bangladesh can one see a livelihood as harsh as this. Like the profession of gold panning from sewer water, where people have to wade into foul-smelling streams, immerse themselves in toxic chemicals, risking their lives for a few meager coins. Few know that every day, gold workshops in old Dhaka discharge tons of gold dust mixed with wastewater, flown into the sewers. From here, the wretched have chosen to make a living in darkness and mud, scooping buckets of thick sludge from the sewers, hoping to collect leftover gold dust. No protective gear, no masks, just bare hands and a few buckets. They grope through the thick sewer water, the stench hitting their noses directly. No one dares to complain, because poverty does not grant them the right to fear. The work doesn't stop there. Each batch of sludge is filtered clean, mixed with strong acid, fumes rising densely, corroding both skin and lungs. Next, they use mercury, an extremely toxic substance, to extract tiny gold particles. Finally, they heat it to evaporate the mercury, leaving behind a bit of pure gold. But what they receive in return is only a few scarce US dollars. Some days, 3 men share less than $4. That is the price of a whole night risking their lives in the pitch-black sewers. Outsiders might ask why they accept such work. But for them, there is no other choice. They are so poor they have no opportunity for a decent livelihood. This job, though lowly, dirty, and dangerous, is still the only way out. Every grain of gold they get today is hope for a better future for their children. So, they accept trading their health, lifespan, and even their lives, just hoping their children won't have to repeat the sewer mud life of their parents. In their eyes, there is no resentment or self-pity. only the singular hope for their children to go to school and escape the bottom-run livelihood. In a place that should be the country's top development center. The life of Dhaka's residents is like an endless struggle for survival, a never-ending battle. Each passing day, thousands of people from rural areas flock to Dhaka, bringing hopes for a better life but quickly getting caught in a vortex of poverty, disease, and despair. Bangladesh's largest pilgrimage festival where faith transcends all human limits. In Bangladesh, a country of poverty and full of injustices, religious faith has become the sole spiritual support helping people cling to hope. And Biswa Ijtima is the clearest evidence of that. The world's second largest Islamic pilgrimage festival takes place annually on the banks of the Sharad River, on the outskirts of the capital Dhaka. This 3-day event gathers millions of Muslim devotees from across Bangladesh. And many South Asian, Central Asian, and Middle Eastern countries converge on a narrow location, making the entire city seem breathless. Each festival season is estimated to attract over 5 million participants, creating a planetary-scale religious migration. What's noteworthy is that most participants belong to the poorest social class. For them, life is inherently a series of hard-working days, but making the pilgrimage to Dhaka is a source of pride and the most important religious duty of their lives. Despite the journey being full of dangers, they are still willing to risk their lives to pray here once. And because of this, the scene of trains during the festival days has become hauntingly disturbing. These old trains, originally meant for a few hundred people, are crammed with thousands. Some sit on train roofs, hang precariously from train sides, and even squeeze into every gap between carriages. The train trudges through rural areas, pulling along a vivid river of people that takes one's breath away. Even ladder rental services have emerged to help those unable to squeeze inside climb onto train roofs. For just about 20 taka, which is less than 2,000 Vietnamese dong of our currency, anyone can buy themselves a ticket to climb onto the train roof, where despite knowing death is near, they still disregard it. Dangerous as it is, and every year people lose their lives, whether by falling from train roofs, being dragged under train wheels, or simply suffocating in the sea of people. But it seems nothing can stop these poor people's fervent desire to fulfill their religious duty. Because for them, participating in Biswa Ijtima is a sacred milestone in life and an opportunity to pray for a better life. Even though they know that after this festival, they will return to a miserable and hopeless existence. Looking at this festival, one sees not only a grand religious event but also a miniature portrait of Bangladesh's social reality, where poverty, overpopulation, and injustice are starkly exposed through each train and each pilgrim's sun-darkened face. Biswa Ijtima is not just a religious festival. It also reflects the desperate cry for salvation, for finding some meaning in an uncertain life. That's why, even with lives pushed to the brink, faith still leads millions to brave dangers to secure a spot on the train of faith. Besides poverty and injustice, Bangladesh also faces another equally fierce battle: climate change. As a country located on low-lying coastal plains, Bangladesh has one of the world's densest river systems with over 700 large and small rivers interwoven like a spider web. Therefore, floods and cyclones have long been familiar enemies, claiming lives, property, and making millions of people's lives precarious each year. The 2007 cyclone Sidr is the clearest evidence of the severity of natural disasters here. The cyclone with wind speeds up to 260 kilometers per hour devastated numerous coastal areas, killing over 3,500 people, destroying tens of thousands of homes completely, and leaving over 8 million people homeless and without livelihoods. That is a haunting memory that Bangladeshi people still cannot forget to this day. Each rainy and stormy season, millions of hectares of agricultural land are deeply flooded, thousands of homes are swept away, and hundreds of people died. Cyclones sweep through coastal areas, leaving scenes of devastation and ruins, leaving people no time to rebuild their homes before new floods arrive. However, what's more concerning is the risk from rising sea levels. According to experts, if sea levels rise by just 1 meter, over 20% of Bangladesh's area will be submerged, directly affecting over 30 million people, mainly poor farmers and fishermen living in coastal areas. Many people have been forced to leave their villages and fields, becoming climate refugees, wandering to large cities like Dhaka to make a living. But unfortunately, these cities, already overloaded, become even more crowded, impoverished, and chaotic. Bangladesh, a country that has contributed almost nothing to the global climate crisis, yet bears some of the heaviest consequences. And if the world doesn't take practical actions, the future of millions of people here will forever be threatened by the rising waters that increase day by day. Dear friends, however, amidst the bleak picture of poverty and difficult lives, Bangladesh still appears with unexpectedly vibrant colors. In a country seemingly filled with suffering and destitution, there still exist cultural, natural, and human beauties that astonish anyone who discovers them. These are ancient architectural works, vibrant, colorful festivals, pristine nature full of life, and the optimistic smiles of the people here. The factors that have created a unique and distinctive Bangladesh. First, let's admire the rich and diverse natural landscape of Bangladesh. A beauty few would expect in a land still facing many hardships. With an area of only about 147,570 square kilometers, less than half the size of Vietnam, Bangladesh possesses an incredibly rich and diverse natural ecosystem. Situated on the delta plains of the Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers, this country is blessed by nature with forests, seas, rivers, and vast wetlands. Most prominent is the Sundarbans mangrove forest, the largest mangrove forest in the world, spanning over 10,000 square kilometers across Bangladesh and part of India. It is not only the green lung of the nation but also the last home of the rare Bengal tiger, a proud symbol of Bangladesh. The dense canopies of Sundari, banyan, and mangrove trees create a magnificent natural maze, where humans seem small before the power of creation. Additionally, Bangladesh boasts Cox's Bazar Beach, renowned as the world's longest sandy beach, stretching up to 120 kilometers. Although infrastructure is underdeveloped, its pristine beauty, with crystal clear blue waters and endless sandy shores, has turned it into a famous tourist destination, attracting both domestic and international. Notably, with over 700 rivers crisscrossing the territory, Bangladesh is also called the land of rivers. The rivers meander through lush green fields, creating fertile deltas but also harboring many natural disaster risks. This dense river system has shaped the distinctive riverine culture of the Bangladeshi people, where life, daily activities, and even beliefs are closely tied to the flow of the rivers. Next is the beauty of its unique cultural and religious architecture, preserving historical and spiritual values over centuries. As a country where 90% of the population is Muslim, Bangladesh has many ancient religious architectural works, clearly reflecting the influence of Islam on spiritual and cultural life. One of the most outstanding heritages is the 60-dome mosque in Bagarhat, the largest ancient mosque in Bangladesh, recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Built in the 15th century with 60 domes and 77 massive stone pillars, this structure is evidence of the flourishing period of Islam in the Bengal region. Additionally, Bangladesh has a series of ancient Hindu temples and old Buddhist monasteries, including the Buddhist ruins of Somapura Mahavihara, one of the largest Buddhist centers in ancient times, also recognized by UNESCO. The intermingling of major religions has created a colorful cultural tapestry, where traditional values are preserved alongside the changes of modern society. Simple yet profound is the pride of the people here. Bangladeshi cuisine is deeply influenced by Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines, with spicy, flavorful, and energy-rich dishes. The most common dish is curry, cooked not only with lamb, chicken, and fish but also with various vegetables. Hilsa fish, considered the national fish of Bangladesh, always appears in traditional meals. Additionally, biryani rice, cooked with meat and spices like turmeric, cloves, and cinnamon, is also an indispensable dish during festivals or weddings. Bangladeshi street food is also rich with fried snacks, samosas, and kebabs. Cheap but delicious, reflecting the simple life of the working class. Remarkably, despite poverty, Bangladeshi people maintain the habit of inviting guests home for meals, as a way to show their hospitality and sincere hearts. Fourth is the art and vibrant traditional festivals that breathe soul into the harsh life here. Bangladesh is famous for the Pahela Boishakh festival, the traditional Bengali New Year that takes place in April. On this occasion, the entire country seems to put on a new appearance, from rural to urban areas. Everywhere is filled with red and yellow colors, colors that symbolize luck and prosperity. People parade on the streets, participate in artistic activities, singing, dancing, and enjoy traditional cuisine to welcome a new year with better hopes. Additionally, Bangladesh is also famous for traditional crafts like Jadani muslin, a lightweight fabric once considered a treasure of European royalty, along with pottery, wood carving, and weaving products. All reflect the talent and skill of the local people. Though poor, they are full of passion and creative spirit. Perhaps it is these vibrant festivals and delicate traditional arts that have lit a rare spark of light within the harsh picture of life in Bangladesh. This is how the local people find joy for themselves, preserving a bit of identity and pride amidst countless difficulties, as a way to remind themselves that they are still living, still hoping. But when the trains return, the scene of crowding and chaos repeats like a cycle of fate. Bangladesh, a land blessed by nature but also filled with countless challenges. Can this country overcome adversity, or will it forever remain mired in difficulties and poverty? Dear friends, today's journey exploring Bangladesh must have given us much to reflect upon. A country so poor and suffering, yet there are still resilient people holding on. There are still sacred religious festivals attracting millions of devotees. And you, how do you feel about the lives of the Bangladeshi people? Please leave comments below so we can share and listen to different perspectives. And most importantly, through Bangladesh's story, we come to appreciate even more the sufficient, safe, and peaceful life we have. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Myth and Motive channel, and turn on notifications so you don't. For now, goodbye and see you in the next videos. Subscribe to the Guy and Migo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.
If the legend hooked you, subscribe and open the next case.